right, chat. So I've got some things to say about Guilty Gear. Okay. Oh man. And it all starts with a little post right here. Okay. The latest Famitsu magazine has new info for Guilty Gear Strive. The online lobbies featuring the pixel characters that was in the closed beta will be their new approach to online, as ranked matches, traditional ranked where players play for points, will not be in Strive. It continues. Replacing ranked will be the floor system that was also shown off in the beta, where players would go between floors based on skill, where each floor will be better suited for each player's aptitude levels and being able to have matches without having to worry about points. More info on Guilty Gear Strive posted by Ryokutia. Am I pronouncing that right? 2089? I'm not too sure, but thank you to these lovely people for translating this. Silsonera. Thank you for all these wonderful people who get us this information so we can have discussions about it. Okay, so hot take here. As someone, and I always have to preface where I'm coming from when I'm talking about Guilty Gear, right? When I'm talking about Guilty Gear, I'm coming from the perspective of someone who is new to the series. The only bit of XR that I've played is just me diddling around in training mode, all right, and just playing the game a little bit, and then fighting the AI in a couple of player matches I've done with my friends here and there. Could never get into any online matches in that game because I didn't know there was a whole Discord thing about it. All right, so I'm a new player. I am one of the people that is the target audience of this new game. The developers at ArcSys, Team Red, what have you, they have gone out of their way to explicitly state that I am their target demographic. This beautiful face is their target demographic, all right? So I'm coming from that perspective. And also, when I'm talking about this, I'm also coming from the perspective of someone who's actually played the beta, this closed beta, because a lot of people are talking, but a lot of people are not talking from experience, from having actually dealt with this system. And I will say this right now, if Guilty Gear Strive's goal is to get in people like me, all right, just already saying people who have a relative interest in fighting games and who play fighting games on a relatively regular / casual basis, if I am your target audience, you're gonna lose me with this system, and you're gonna lose my friends who are even less interested or who play fighting games on an even less or casual basis, all right, who don't even know what Guilty Gear are. You're gonna lose them too with this system. And let me tell you why. It's too much. It's just straight up too much hassle just to play video games with your friends. Like, I cannot explain to you what a frustrating is, like how frustrating it is dealing with Arc System Works lobbies, right? Because Dragon Ball FighterZ was my first introduction to them as a company, and that spiraled me like, oh, let me check out Guilty Gear, let me check out Central Friction, all this stuff, yada yada yada. Here's my problem, right? You get in, you're excited to play this game, but what do you have to do? Set up these character avatars, learn how to navigate this area. In order for me to just play a game with my friend, I have to set up this stupid little ring system. If I want to play ranked, I gotta talk over to here, talk to these people, all that stuff. Then I get the search going. It's too much. Like, I have a friend, and he is like my barometer for fighting games, because either it catches his attention or it doesn't, right? Either he's just into it or he's completely not, because of the way the game presents itself. And Dragon Ball FighterZ is one of those games where it can appeal to a casual basis, or like a casual player base, and the reason the numbers are so large because the IP of Dragon Ball is so strong. But he got so frustrated dealing with that system because we were constantly having terrible connections. The netcode was awful. It was having to go to a whole bunch of the, switching between servers and all that sort of stuff to try to find each other physically in the lobby, then trying to matchmake, and then having the matchmake go through. We had to go through all this stuff just to play Dragon Ball FighterZ together, and that made him hate the game, and it made him end up dropping it because he didn't want to deal with all this crap. But he likes to play things like Injustice or Mortal Kombat, because you know what you have to do to get into matches with your friends in those games? You literally hit in the main menu, you hit start, then you hit multiplayer or online, whatever phrasing they use. And then you hit casual match or private match, whatever it is. And then literally my PlayStation friends list pops up, and then you send them an invite, and it's that simple. It's that simple. This is doing too much. And if they're just like, well, we've invested way too many resources into this to just abandon it, fine. But there needs to be an option that is way simpler to just get in and play. Because here's my problem, is that a lot of people are like, oh, well, based on the, it's just the beta, it's going to improve by the final release. If I've learned anything from video game developers in general, is to have a very, very small amount of faith in them to actually complete certain things before the official release. And to make sure that all the bugs are actually needed out. And that's just a reality of the way developers handle themselves nowadays. All right, but that being beyond the point, you're going to get less matches in just trying to casually play because you have this stupid avatar system where you have to pull up swords, and then we stare at each other, and then they have to accept it, and then, oh, I can see what what character he has, so I can counter pick and then exploit the system that way. There's so many ways around it to where this doesn't solve anything. To me, you're just adding more issues because you're adding more layers in between people actually playing the game with their friends or casually fighting against each other. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand why they are making this decision. And it just feels like they were like, well, we put all of our eggs in this basket, so it has to work. And it's just insane to me. If you look at a lobby system that does work, you look at a game like Them's Fighting Herds, right? Well, sure, it has an avatar lobby system, but it also gives you the option of doing a traditional one. You look at Power Rangers, that has a nice, simple lobby system. You can get in, get out, play your matches that you want to. Mortal Kombat 11, I literally just hit online, send that invite. Make it simple. You will not retain a casual player base or a new player base if you don't make it simple. And that's not even talking about, Guilty Gear's marketing of their IP, how they're it's basically kind of repeating the same issues that XR did seemingly, where it is not pushing to try to make a connection with the Western audience, even though aesthetically they're trying to make things very esports appealing. They're making so many decisions that it's just this is a very acidine way to try to get what you want out of your player base and try to get what you want in the result of all these new players coming in. And it doesn't make any sense to me. And that's why it's extra baffling to me, because as a new player, so many of the options or so many of the decisions that they end up making it's just that doesn't appeal to me. It doesn't appeal to the casual player base. Whether it's, limiting the Gatling system to where you can't even combo off of light attacks, to where it's okay, well, now every single player now has to have multiple combo options immediately based off of slash combos, kick combos, heavy slash, dust. They have to have all these other options now instead of being able to quickly work off of a light combo situation. And if you don't want them to be too reliant on it, all you have to do is just heavily scale or moderately scale the combo back if you start with a light. I don't understand why you'd want to limit your character like that. Or even look at Ramlethal and how much she's been neutered, and in the creativity that you could do in Xrd that's been very much reduced to just, all right, point the special at a person, it goes boom, and then the swords come back. That is a much more watered down version of what Ramlethal was. But the reason I'm bringing up all this stuff is because a lot of decisions end up being made with this game for the sake of players like me, but this isn't stuff we want. Because it just frustrates me, because I want this game to do well. Like, I want to love this game. And those are like my two major issues with this game. There just needs to be a little bit more freedom with the Gatling system. So there's a higher ceiling for execution that players can strive towards, no pun intended, that is engaging and fun. But then we need to make this lobby system simple, and there needs to be more options for players who want to just play and not deal with this stuff, whether it's playing with their friends, even though they said there would be an option for that, but they didn't go into detail with that, or for people who don't want to deal with this whole avatar BS, that they can just go into a menu, a different menu, and just hit search and just get paired with whomever. They don't get the opportunity to pick in between, ooh, this person or that person who has their icon for this character and all that stuff, and that's the drawback. Or you lose out on the options to do customization and all that stuff because you're not earning some in-game reward or currency. I don't know, but you can incentivize people to want to use this lobby system, but at the same time give people the option to just keep it simple, stupid. And it's like, the reason I'm harping on this is because I know what it's going to take to get the average person to want to play this, because I deal with the average people all the time, and I feel like a lot of things with the FGC is that they, especially with FGC Twitter, it's a very much an echo chamber of like, of what, these companies should do and what they shouldn't do and what does or does not appeal to the casual player base. But almost every single person they interact with on an everyday basis is actually into fighting games, right? I've only got 3 to 4 friends who are like actually into fighting games, whether they're actively playing them or actively watching, the competitive scene. So it's, I don't know, man. I don't think these decisions are good ideas. And I think and people have been bringing up this tweet a lot, and for good reason, all right? By Crofts over here, okay? Every other genre, press the gigantic play button, you will be placed into a match. Fighting games. If matchmaking you would like to see, first you must answer my riddles 3, which is a great John Mulaney reference, all right? Now look at this. Play button right there in the corner, boom. Play button. Invite friends right there. Play button. Dragon Ball FighterZ lobby. Now imagine you're a person who's never played a 3v3, Marvel vs. Capcom style fighting game before, like my friend. All of his experiences is Smash Bros. And Mortal Kombat. He's a casual player. I'm trying to introduce him to this game, and then we're struggling to get into servers. We're struggling to get into this lobby, and then we have to create a ring lobby, and then the ring lobby will mess up with the connection and all this other stuff. And what if he wants to go play a casual? Then he's got to go all the way over here. This doesn't solve anything. The only way to solve the issue that they're trying to solve is to have more players. And this is not going to appeal to more players. The way you get around that, characters, marketing, the look of the game, but on top of that also, instead of investing resources in this, they could be investing resources into crossplay. Cross-platform crossplay, cross-generation crossplay. Like, to me, that is more important in making sure that your player base is always together and not separated, not, excluding PC from betas and all this other stuff and other forms of testing, or excluding, let's see here, what else? Excluding, what else was it? PlayStation 5 is going to be having its own exclusive tag mode and all this sort of stuff. Stop excluding the player base. put your resources into unifying everybody together and trying to get everyone to play together so that the player base can be stronger that way. That way you have much more of a bigger pool to pick from for players, instead of it just being like, oh, I am playing on Xbox, I have to find the nearest Xbox player. Oh, there is no nearby Xbox player. Well, I gotta find somebody, and I also have to find somebody within a rank between floors, within floor 10 only. Right, and you're checking all the servers. Well, there's no one nearby. Then we got to go to Japan, right? Then we got players in Japan. Okay, they match, but we're gonna do with the best connection. Not really much of a great connection, but this is what's gonna happen. It's just the player base is, it's gonna get thinner, and the options are gonna get worse and worse if everything's separated for people. And they need to fix that. Those are the things that need to be addressed. Those are the important things, right? And I just hope that they understand that, because these developers are smart. They are capable of doing the right thing. They are capable of doing what is supposed to be done. I mean, the fact that they're taking the leap with rollback netcode, but it's just a matter of not being so stubborn when it comes to feedback. There's a lot of things they're definitely listening to, but a lot of it, they're just saying, we hear what you're saying, but trust this, it's gonna be great. And that's what it boils down to. I mean, and I love this point right here too. You guys can stop going, it's only Arxis games, as if your games don't have 2-minute load times on rematch, no tutorial, no crossplay, non-functioning netcode, can't switch characters without opening a weird sub-menu, can't have multiple matches going on in a lobby. That's a big thing, etc., etc. We need to be demanding better from our fighting games, and for some reason, fighting game players or the FGC on social media thinks it's such a taboo thing to even be discussing this, giving our feedback, right? That's such a strange thing to me, that it's just so like, oh, well, I think it's a good idea to do this and do that. Look at how many people said, stop complaining about netcode, nobody cares. Rollback netcodes and Guilty Gear Strive. Oh, this is the greatest achievement. Developers are really listening. The industry is changing. I tell you, Chet. I tell you. Oh, dude, I didn't even have my... What am I doing? I'm slipping. Didn't even have my list up. Chat. I tell you. We as fighting game players, man, we gotta demand better. Gotta demand better. And I'm not saying this lobby system couldn't work, but there needs to be guaranteed options for players who don't want to deal with any of this BS. Because it doesn't fix anything. Like, you're still gonna run into the same issues of people will find ways to, so-called, exploit the rank system. And if someone didn't want to play ranked, they weren't going to play ranked to begin with. That's not going to affect them in any way whatsoever. They're going to play casual. They're going to play casual. I don't know, man. You can only do but so much for skill-based matchmaking inside of a fighting game. Because even though you might be the same level as someone else, you don't know if you're fighting Maximilian dude or not because he just started, right? And he's been playing games for, X amount of years and all that sort of stuff. You don't know who you're fighting on the other end. Sure, you want to put those parameters in place so people aren't being exploited or bullied on, but at the end of the day, you can't do anything about the human condition of making, you can't make people want to keep going in ranked or want to approach ranked, right? Either they do or they don't. But the best thing you can do is make it the most comfortable environment possible. Make the matches as responsive as possible. Make rematching as quickly as possible. Character selecting, if you need to switch mid-match, make that as quickly as possible. Let people play as quickly as possible to keep them engaged with your game and make them keep, that's your only incentive that you can give them, is that, hey, look, just get back into the game. Try it again, man. You got this. It's the best you can do. There's a lot of hot takes on here, man. A lot of garbage hot takes. Unpopular opinion, but I actually like it if they clean it up a bit. Actually really interested in how to do it. I think it'd be a really cool new system. But people just want to grind points, I guess. I just want to grind points. Jesus Christ. People don't want to have to go to a Discord server just to play their game. I'm not saying that, you know, Guilty Gear Strive is doomed from the start or anything hyperbolic like that. The game comes out in April, but I can see a lot of writing on the wall, and it makes me very hesitant. And they need to, whenever their next beta is, they need to pop off and show people that this stuff is going to work. Because from what we have actually physically played, it's not it, Chief. It's not it. It's not going to, I don't think it's going to be a bad fighting game by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm worried that they're going to limit themselves from what they are truly capable of if they don't strap some things together, or if they don't get focused on certain things and think really critically about some of the decisions they are making in terms of this game. But yeah, that's my rant about Guilty Gear. I want this game to be great. Like, look how much I care about this, and I'm not even like a full Guilty Gear fan. I just played a little bit of X-Art. I think that game is dope, but I just want something a little bit more accessible. And I got my little taste of did myself a little line of Strive, and I'm like, oh baby, this has the potential to be like everything I've ever wanted out of a fighting game. Cool visuals, 1v1 or possibly 2v2. Like I love the Gatling system from Rev. I love the Roman cancel system because all the freedom you get. Like, I'm looking at this game and I'm like, yo, this has the potential to be like the game I play, and like I would try to go competitive with it. But it's just certain changes, man. Certain changes. They gotta buck up, you know? I'm praying, man. I'm praying. That's all you can do, man. Sometimes just gotta pray. Just gotta pray about it. You know, hope for the best, man. We got time, but it's important to make noise about this. It's important. It's important.